In a world where global communication is connecting us in many ways, we need to stay connected. Anytime, anywhere, any place. Welcome to the world of Athalos.
Welcome to Athalos World and welcome to our podcast series. We are back in conversation with Martijn van der Ven, CEO and founder of Athalos. Martijn, welcome to the show. Welcome back. What has been a very unusual year for us all. But as we enter 2021, I know we've got some exciting things to talk about and also some of the great work that Athalos has been doing. So we'll get into that. Do you think 2020 has helped you? You talked about reflection, pausing, taking stock, and some of the webinars that you've been on with UN Global Compact last year at the Leaders Summit as well. You highlighted that 2020 has allowed you to sort of stop for a moment, to pause and reflect in a way that shouldn't be detrimental to business. But has that allowed you to accelerate everything that you've been talking about this morning, what we've talked about over the last year, in accelerating the journey of this digitization and humanizing the voice? Or has it changed the way you perceive things? So I'm trying to get inside your head, Martijn.
For me, it got, beside its DNA, these three anthems that we shared before. And therefore, if you look at Athalos.tech, which is becoming more and more our tech platform, to connect on operational, tactical, and strategic level with partnerships. I believe in a deeper partnership. That means the philosophy is let's create together solutions. And in the same time, I'm still struggling, seeing roadblocks. Sometimes these are the roadblocks that we invented ourselves, by ourselves. But I see still a lot of misunderstanding. Is how we are sending out our message, is what we do, and how is the receiving party receiving the right message to create the right signal. And this has to do, I think, with if you're, let's say, inventing something first as a concept, and you make the proof of concept, and you see it's working, and now we are scaling up into 3.0. So we came from 1 point, of course, and last year was 2 point, and now already we made a acceleration on, let's say, for the next 30 years. And that is, and this is how I believe that for me as, let's say, an entrepreneur, is what I say is what I do, and I want to show it, and in the same time we are building it. So I have the mentality to what I believe I'm doing it, and in the same time it's not finished, if you get my point.
Yeah.
So that is the reason, and that's a little bridge to the, as you know, the charity sector, the global donation services. And we have a very specific goal. How can we help from the Netherlands up to Pakistan? Young NGOs, known NGOs, or initiative to support with fundraising. But still we need to help them, first of all, which is the client base. We have a very interesting track record on helping these clients, first of all. But second, of course, that we need to have the trust and confidence of the parties that needs to be connected as well. These means our operators to open our networks with the services. These are the distributors that we want to offer a program, for instance. But of course also bringing it online. So that brings me to an important announcement, at least for us, to the market. Before 1st of February, we are going to launch an update on the Athalos.com website with 3 programs. First of all, online B2B. That means any company can inquire for a free service number. Okay, so this will be started manually. So if somebody from your network, Zubair, is interested as an NGO to start an inquiry, we go into a validation process. So that's for us testing and doing it. In the proof of concept is that we are seeking for over 1,000 clients over the online B2B. We already have a database, but this is the announcement, and this is going to be seen on LinkedIn and other social media. Second is the Palladium program, which is a reseller program, which focuses on trusted partners that we would like to support with our services and our numbering system, and to give them the space to contact the local markets and to support them with our services. And that is what we call global access service. So any service for voting, for support on service lines, on helplines, on a charity sector, it's all in there that we are going to support a program towards the distributors/resellers. Last but not least, it's the Quantum Leap program. And this is the high-end program where we will connect through a setup fee, a membership fee on a yearly basis, and a very specific service batch that we want to support in the world of Internet of Things, machine to machine, but also global access, is to support them with a impactful program to support the big tech partners with a specific program. So that makes us finally a humble platform that is going to service based on access these three, let's say, pipelines, and hopefully, wishfully, that will come to light during the mid of the year, latest, to accelerate these three programs. But like I said before, these are for us important stars in the sky that we want to create, and this is on the roadmap as we speak.
Oh, this is excellent news, because I know this year particularly has been difficult for everyone everywhere, but more so for those people in the doing good space, as it were, charities and NGOs, and talking about specifically world over, with the great work that they're doing in accelerating the United Nations global goals and the 2030 agenda, whether it be on climate or refugees or food poverty, for example. So I guess what I'm hearing, Martijn, from you is that through 2020, you've had those moments of reflection. You've listened to your core focus has always been, mission interstellar, always about impact, and you've listened to yourself in refocusing, I guess, and taking advantage of crisis opportunity, I guess.
Yeah.
What I'm also hearing from you is that what you're effectively doing with this announcement is speeding up inclusivity, and clearly which initiatives are working and why. And it also seems like it's the promise of possibilities of good tech, and that's really good to hear, because this is about us working together, responsibility. Now, interestingly, those will be two podcasts that we'll do in the future as well on those two specific topics. Yeah. I'm seeing a great opportunity here for charities and NGOs across the globe. This means that we're now leveling the playing field. So for those charities that perhaps don't have access to global donors, who perhaps don't have the resources in the traditional sense, so resource mobilization, people, marketing budgets, etc. I think I'm sensing this can be a game changer. But what couple of points can you give to the charities that are listening out there, or people that are connected to charities? What do you see as the advantage of, you talk about voice, and we'll talk about that in a moment, about raw emotions. What do you feel is the advantage of having a voice-related service for charities? What's the human connection you talked about earlier?
Okay.
Give me the example of that.
Yeah, I want to give, in a way, two examples. One is more the ideal situation, which I think will happen in the next 10 to 20 years. And the other one is an exact example how it can be utilized soon. First of all, I believe that AI is going to be prominent into the world of steering voices into instructions. So if I coming into the room of you, Zubair, I say, hello, Zubair, how are you? Then it's nice to receive feedback. As you might know, Google is extensively already working with these kind of, let's call it AI services into the, let's call it home situation. So if I'm coming home, I said, hey, Google, please, I want to listen to this music from that period of this artist. Then it recognizes. I really believe that is the future. And that translates it to our services. So as soon as you have a, let's call it international service number from Athalos, you are contacted everywhere. That means if I'm asking, hey, Athalos, I want to have this package on this day at this place, and that's it. So the Internet of Things behind that is the connectivity is there. That means there's access, first of all, through the normal Wi-Fi networks, through the normal fixed networks, or through the normal mobile networks. Okay, so that's important for connectivity. Second, the services. So working with the services behind it, that means if I want to order something because I have tomorrow a special dinner, I want to have it cooked, I want to have it brought, I want to have it equipped, I want to have it structured in my home. You know, the service enhancements are improving more and more. And I think that is part also of our society as we speak, is that a lot of transformations going on. People work more from home. They forget they need to have space for themselves to think over, you know, to relax, to sport, to go out, and to spend more for themselves together with the families and their friends. But that is happening from home, and we need to be careful. And I think there's an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So with the services of Athalos, and I want to bring it back now to an example for the charity sector. It starts with you have an international service number that you're, let's say, are reachable from all over the world. It simply starts with one international telephone number. We call it the world number. So that means you're connected, free of service. When the donator is calling you, or the person who is calling you makes communication to that number of the NGO, there is a very low flat tariff structure of 10 cents. So we are bringing down cost and we are making profit here, because on the 10 cents, we allocate 30 to 40% of the cost towards the NGO. So they are going to receive a revenue share. And I believe in the future, like we're sharing connectivity, we are sharing services, we need to share also profit. So this is unique. You get the number, you're reachable, connectivity. We will put service behind you, because, you know, if you're not reachable, there will be, we call it an interactive voice response system. It's like the menu card that you have on your voicemail system, and can be forwarded in many ways, or can be added with text, or can be transformed to email as well. Okay, so that's a connectivity service. Right. And what I said is the revenue share is important. So the NGO receives micropayments through this network, and of course mass calling will help, and they can make their own campaigns. So this is an ABC that we want to have, you know, connectivity, services, revenue share. And we saw it's a unique feature, and it starts with this kind of services to help out the charity sector, which are obviously under high pressure at the moment as well.
And I guess obviously a great deal of investment from your side, not just financially, but intellectually, has gone into this. And I know we've talked about this before, that there's been a lot of thinking really going into and discussion with, so that this has not been just done in isolation with coming with the great idea. It's been in collaboration with the sector that needs the help the most. So this is technology reaching its full potential, as it were, to effectively reflect the world in which we operate, right? So when we talk about NGOs, And I see this building a digital future that works for everyone. Martijn, the advantage I'm seeing really is that this allows NGOs, enables NGOs to really reach out to their donors in a unique way to give them more insight. But I guess also for charities that are listening, there are sometimes issues and challenges around receiving money as well. You know, as crazy as that sounds, there are regulatory restrictions on charities receiving monies in certain countries. And I guess because this is effectively not a donation, this becomes income and revenue generation. Yes. This probably ticks that box as well. So I think you've come up with an absolutely brilliant kind of solution to the many challenges that NGOs in perhaps developing countries are facing right now. So if you're an NGO listening out there, then this is something that you should inquire about. Martijn, do you think this is going to be the way of the future of attracting donors to charities through this voice connectivity, this global donation service that you've introduced?
I'm very sure about that. And again, this is just an entry. This is just a starter. So it all starts with connectivity, access. As we all know, depending on, let's say, your model of engagement with your mobile operator, because you're connected to one of the local operators, we see a huge impact on decreasing, let's say, cost. We want to be on the block to create the momentum together, by the way, with these operators. Because the reason why we are struggling with opening the access is that we need to convince the local operators to open this special number, this tariff structure, and the revenue share. So for us, this is a missionary, let's say, roadmap that you and I already know for many years. When I started to share the idea with you, you were the first person that immediately understood what is the pinpoint of this, let's say, roadmap. So it took us many years to get it to the direction we are taking right now. And this is just a start. And I want to say about the future. And I'm very honored that you are the head of the platform of the Athalos.world, because you do, and it's good to say that to each other, you know. We are in this together. You're leading the Athalos.world to create global awareness, to create global engagement with and we are very proud of that, our first global ambassadors that want to engage with us, to bring solutions together in a basket. And I think that is the main quantum leap finally, is to work together on, we have the connectivity, and now humanize the digital world with voice through the network that we have. And I think, let's say, following the SDG program, as you are following that even more than I have the time for that right now, because I want to support with the connectivity and I need you into the Athalos world. I think this is bridge making and this is the world of solutions, and finally to bring it to smart solutions anywhere around the world. But of course, we have to show first what we are promising.
Absolutely. Martijn, I think that's all we've got for in today's podcast. Obviously, we'll be back again in conversation, talking about many of the other things that you're working on, the changing face of the digital world as we move further into 2021. And obviously, we'll be talking about some of the emotional side of running Athalos as well. So just a mention again to those listening in. If the global donation service is something that you're interested in, you can reach out via athalos.world. As Martijn said, some big announcements being made, a couple shared here today already, which will be relayed through LinkedIn. So follow Athalos on LinkedIn and Twitter. Martijn, always a pleasure to talk to you. There's much more to discuss, and we'll be back in conversation to do that in due course. For now, I want to thank you for joining us on this podcast series for Athalos World. And we shall reconvene and continue the conversations, because they don't just stop here. I look forward to speaking to you in the future again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zubair, and continue humanizing the digital world with our voice. Thanks a lot.
Echo that. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the world of Athalos.